what about you have housing around these specific homes? Are you able to lease capacity through multi-family housing, just for bridge housing, provide some stability transition?
So part of their intake process is we come out with kind of one thing we didn't hear earlier from the roundtable. One thing we're talking military is being proactive versus being reactive. When the system is better. Now it's more being reactive. So when we sit down for that initial intake, we kind of discuss where they're at, their housing journey, where they're currently at, if they're lobby homeless, if they are literally homeless, and if there is a house available. So if there's a house available here for us, you know, how they're going to fit. But if it's not, there are other programs out there. Once again, we're not here to compete with any of the other programs. We're here to complement them. So if there's a VA program that I know that they're eligible for,
You'll place them.
we will get them, make that call right then and there and get that connection set up right away. So hey, now coaching so and so with this organization, and you know, tell them this and sent you, and then they'll go there directly and make that connection. And so it's not us telling them once again, it's us saying yes, and then we're going to figure out what that yes looks like.
Yeah.
The yes is either the tiny home.
Yes, is unconditional. We're going to connect you.
We're not able to go into
maybe this way, maybe that way.
We're not able to go into the.
Can we at least get shots of them going in though? You don't have to stand
We're
right
trying, I
in
know,
our
we're
way.
trying to protect the privacy of the folks who live here. You can get them when they're coming out, but not when they're actually going in the home.
So a complete stranger can go in.
Nice to meet you, Jacob.
Jacob, nice to meet you as well. This your place?
Yeah.
Tell me
I
about
got a
it.
couple excited guys.
So I moved here in February. Yeah, that's Luna and Kashka, or Mario, as I call them. Yeah, I moved here in February.
Tell us more about you.
I'm 25 years old. I was welder machinist in the Army on 91 Echo, and I'm originally from California. I lived in Texas for a little bit.
Where in Texas?
Kerrville.
Okay.
Yeah, I lived in Kerrville, and then yeah, just kind of needed to get on my own in life, and moved to Kansas City, and didn't really start off on the right steps. But
How'd you get connected to VCP?
it was
Valor
yeah,
program.
the Valor program
Okay.
at North Kansas City Hospital. I wanted to get help, and then I came in and didn't think, I was like, I don't know, a house or whatever this is, and like, it's not true, and came in and sat with Vincent for, I think it was like 2 days of paperwork, and they were like, come in on Tuesday and bring all your stuff because you're moving in, and I was like, hey, what's the catch? What am I supposed to do? And like, I'm working in a sweatshop or something, or that hasn't been at all.
Yeah, after this, he has to get right back to the sweatshop.
Yeah. How long have you been here, if you don't mind me asking?
I've been here since February, so
Okay.
5 months.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great. And I was just asking Brian and Vincent and Jason about the community dynamic here. Tell me a little bit about that, about getting to know your neighbors and how you all socialize or come together.
It's definitely something new to me. I mean, coming from the military, you definitely get like a military family. But it took me a while, just from what I was going through and transitioning out of, to kind of do more out of the house. But yeah, meeting people around that are in the community, that are living here as well. It's really awesome to. I always think like the age difference is gonna
be
be an issue, but it's.
Are you one of the youngest veterans living
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
We have in the military we call it mandatory fund, so we kind of have the same thing here as well. Once monthly community mandatory fund, cookouts, barbecues. We had a balloon fight, water balloon fight about 2 months ago.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
everybody
that
goes,
was,
yeah.
that was a ton of fun.
This is
Yeah.
the kind of day you want to be in a water balloon.
Yeah.
fight.
Right,
You don't wanna
exactly.
get drenched.
And that's it. And then, you know, once again, no one. It's all about the world. We always encourage, hey, come on out, just come talk to us as well. Just meet your neighbor. They get that sense of community. Been doing an amazing program. So, and then it was through the one of our partners that, you know, these guys are not going to tell you no. And what's the catch?
Yeah.
Well, the catch is you're going to come here and we're all going to be in this together. But
Yeah,
the catch is
exactly.
you're in this with us.
And yeah, it's what it has been. It's really changed my life, honestly.
Jacob, can you tell me about that? How your life has changed since you've been here?
I struggled with chemical dependency, I guess, alcoholism and drug addiction, pretty much anything to numb myself. I didn't want to feel bad. I didn't like myself, and it's been like extra accountability. And medication management, they roll my medication and stuff. I agreed upon, I told them and it's that kind of accountability is what I needed, and I knew I wasn't going to have my own. And but it's helped me see what just a sober life can be. It's awesome. It's amazing. Because I was just like very unsocial before, just wanted to stick to myself. And yeah.
You want to hear a funny story, man? This used to be my house.
I remember what
Yeah,
you
Wes
mentioned.
was telling me.
Yeah.
I remember Matt was telling me. And you're
Yeah.
like, hey.
Brian
Yeah.
lived in, again, doing things like the military. Brian was 45, 60 days.
It was somewhere between 45 and 60 days last summer.
I was thinking
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just to make sure it was how we wanted it.
Yeah.
You know?
It started, so the origin of
You
it,
meant to see
the
what's
origin
going on.
is that actually the bed, I said, we need to get rid of the footboard. This is, I don't care. He's like, no, Brian can fit in there. Yeah, and Brian then, he got in there, and then he was like this,
Yes.
for 45 days, was like,
You couldn't
yeah,
stretch
we
out.
need to go a little more modular furniture.
Yeah.
So it worked out, yeah.
But no, it really was. It really was about like not asking somebody to do something we wouldn't do.
Exactly.
Right. So last summer, after we actually started having people come through and transition out, it's like one of us needs to just do this. But in addition, what we found was a lot of people, when they transition out, we say critique us, right? Like critique the house, right?
Give us
Trust
some
me,
feedback.
there's plenty of poor feedback on Vinny, but like the house, it's always been positive. So it was like one of us needs to actually live in it to figure out what we can do better when we build the next 13. And we did. We made a lot of changes on that second 13.
Give him sort of orient him to, how the house is built and why
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
And one other question
Yeah,
as
of
you
course.
answer that. Can you buy these houses and have them come in by rail car already assembled, or is this something that has to be built in place?
So one of the ways that we were able to pull off tiny home community inside of major city limits was all these houses are built to code, right? So they're stick built from the ground up. So what you don't hit when you're trying to bring something in is one, it's not necessarily as cost effective, but you're not hitting on all the necessary inspections. We built a 2018 code. They have to meet any standard, any new construction needs, right? So they're market grade
All city
houses.
utilities and-
Right.
Right.
So we build them from here up. It's actually a lot more cost effective because I can get somebody to donate some lumber or a roof or some man hours as opposed to asking somebody to donate the entirety of a manufactured house to bring in. In addition, it creates a lot of community buy-in, right? So somebody comes out and swings a hammer, they feel bought into the project,
Yeah.
and they want to come back, they want to connect, they want to continue.
How about
to
this
support us.
neighborhood? We were just talking about NIMBYism, folks who might say, I don't want this kind of a development in my backyard or my community. In terms of, you mentioned property values have gone up since this has gone in, but have you also seen participation from the neighborhood and the community in helping to build?
When we first purchased the lot, that was, that sidewalk was actually trees. The neighbors came out here and we took chainsaws ourselves and some trucks, and they actually came out and gave us a hand with that. And since then, we have a really good relationship.
That's great.
With the community partners. Now, the actual landlords next door, they're actually talking about moving some of our veterans permanently over there. And that's because the veterans still want to be close with the community, as part of that community. It's as simple as they come here, they transition, everything is taken care of. And everyone now they move across the street, and they're still part of the VCP. They still have their home. They still have that connection to the community. So they've been, I think overall, as far as the neighborhood feels, it's been amazing. Now all the logistics and the money, that's all there into the deal there. But the feel of the neighborhood, I think we've been pretty good.
I like hearing that.
So tell me about why it's, because one of the things I like to talk about is why this is specifically a solution for veterans, right? And tiny houses in particular are, so do your thing.
Sure. So, thanks. So the house itself, right? So the house is, again, kind of harkening back to that barracks feel. Even though it's tiny, we've done as much as we can to make it feel safe and secure, right? So there's a door in that window so you can see who's out. It faces the walkway up. You're not looking into somebody else's house. And now he's chosen to turn the bed, which actually I'm kind of upset. I didn't think to do that when I was here. But normally the bed faces the door, so if somebody's feeling a little bit insecure, that helps them feel a little bit more secure. We do little things like, this is single occupancy. We don't need doors on the bathroom. But doing this allows you to have a more secured, safe spot.
Yeah.
So, you know, as opposed to a group living situation, an apartment, anything like that, where somebody may have social anxiety, some level of PTS, this really helps with those issues, right? Having that front door, you get a shut lock, right? That's something that I've really gotten from the female veteran community, is that idea of safety. That idea that I'm allowed to have stuff, keep my stuff somewhere and have it be safe, or I'm allowed to be safe in my person. Unfortunately, group living situations, shelters, violence, both sexual and physical, increase. That's not an issue here. You know, you get that front door, you shut, you lock, you feel secure. Plus, if there is ever an issue, our people are right there.
Yeah.
You know, we're right here to respond.
We were talking about functional zero. One of the reasons that like beds will stay empty and vets will stay in the woods or on the street is because, you know, most people don't want to go and stay in a place where they're surrounded by strangers and homeless shelter, but like if you have post-traumatic stress, like that is a no-go. Like I struggle to sleep on an airplane with people.
Another one Jason's on and it's right here. So, and
There we go.
that right there is one of the biggest things
Yeah.
that we've changed is if we were to meet Jacob in the street and say, all right, we have a house for you, you know, in 2 days, but you have to leave your companion animal, you have to leave your buddy out there on the street. That's usually a no-go.
They're not going to leave their buddy
They're
behind.
not going to leave them there. So that's one thing that was huge with a lot of our individuals here is that being able to bring their service animal or companion animal. Once again, the accountability he spoke about gives them accountability for the animal. On top of that, they're not leaving their buddy behind. The same type of accountability. So that's one thing that's been huge with our organization changing is the ability to have the animals around. You see, we have Scanny up there up top. Just I don't know what he does exactly, but he gets a lot of attention.
Me or Skinny?
Well, Scanny.
Your dog.
My dog.
Yeah.
That's great.
So being pet friendly is huge, really, and we made a lot of great pet partnerships as well. So that's just another thing to add to us.
Again, that's an additional benefit of the tiny home model versus group living situation, apartment complexes, anything like that, right? It's also the incredible sense of pride and ownership. Something I want to hit on. I know that we probably got to step out there. Is from the day he moved into this house, it came stocked with brand new appliances, dishes, sheets,
Not
that bed.
donated.
Brand new,
Yeah.
right? Brand new. From the day he walked in, he now owns all of it.
Yeah.
Right?
Even food in the fridge.
Yep.
There's food in the fridge.
Cabinets and
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah. Wow.
So when he ultimately, you know, chooses the next place he wants to go to, this is his nest egg. This is the stuff he gets to start with and can accumulate, and in the meantime have pride over the things that, you know, you have when you move in.
That's great. That's amazing. This dog, is it trained, or did you train your dog? Did you?
Because it's a service animal.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's not. I've been meaning to go to the VA because I know they have classes and stuff there. You can take animal too, but they're just kind of taking on the responsibility. Just
She's so
training her
well
myself.
behaved.
Yeah,
There are all these
she
people
is.
coming
she gets,
in, there's a
she gets
cat
super excited
going
with
right in
people,
front of
though.
her, and she's
Yeah.
not. She's so chill.
Yeah, her and the cat are best friends.
Yeah, we have pet policies and all of that work with the case management on a daily basis. And, you know, we encourage them. We want that that's family, that's home.
Yeah.
But as long as they take care of them, Jacob does an amazing job with it. So it's good to go. There's always a part of it. You know, it's the community, it's the family. So.
Yeah.
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 Different kinds of things.
I love that.
Jacob, thanks man for letting us in your place.
Yeah, thanks for
I
letting us
really
in a little
appreciate
bit,
it.
man.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was nice meeting you.
Likewise, really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, thank you for everything
Yeah,
you've
of
done for
course.
the country, and then your courage and sharing your story right now.
Definitely.
Very
Thank you.
impressed by that. Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a while, man. I've been out.
I know.
I've been out for about a week, brother. I had to take care of other stuff at my house.
¿Cómo hacemos, Cam? Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Talk for just a second and turn it over to you.
It sounds great. Yeah.
Sure, I'll note my mark. Thanks. You mind if I stay just that? Good spot.
Do you plan these specifically for the hottest days, Jason?
Yeah, that's what I do. You're welcome. All right. Any other complaints? Good to see y'all again. Thanks so much. It's really been a blessing here of late to have so much attention and interest on the incredible work that the team here at Veterans Community Project does. A team which I will readily point out, all of the great things you see around here predate me. I'm just a guy who benefited from this place, and now is really fortunate to be able to work with everybody here and try to make a difference. I'm really appreciative that Beto has wanted to come and see this. What we got a chance to do was sit down with some volunteers, with some of the staff here, and tell him a little bit about it, answer some of his questions, go into the house there and speak with a resident. But I hope that for the local press here and for the national press, that what this demonstrates is just the level of importance of serving our veterans in ways that are not just about saying, they served us, so we served them. I mean, it's about actually getting serious about filling in the gaps in services, not just complaining about the gaps, but filling in the gaps in services. And that's what we do here at Veterans Community Project, and it means a lot to me that my friend Beto O'Rourke wanted to see it so that he could take that and carry it with him. So I'm going to turn it over to him.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Gracias. Hey, sure, you got it. Just wanted to begin by telling you that I'm here because of Jason Kander. He's somebody that has been so inspiring to me. His lead is one that I've wanted to follow. His service to country in uniform, his service in public office, the courageous way that he campaigned. I don't think the guy could care if you're a Republican or a Democrat or an independent. He really believes before you're anything else, you're an American first, and he treats people that way. And it's the way that I seek to campaign and to serve as well. And then Jason's extraordinary courage in coming forward and talking about how he's gone to seek help and the way that he's received help. And that is a model and an example, I believe, for veterans across the country. So first and foremost, that's why I'm here. But when I come back, it's going to be also because of Brian and Vincent, the volunteers that they introduced me to, the Veterans Community Project, which has to be the model for this country. They ask two questions when a veteran walks in the door. One, did you serve this country? And two, do you need help? And that's all that it takes to qualify for housing or for care or for help. That's the way this country should treat every single veteran, regardless of where you live, how long ago you served, or for how long you served. So I take from this some inspiration and an example that we want to apply to the rest of the country in the housing, the care, the help, and Americans just being good for one another and there for one another at their time of need.
So we have time for a few questions.
In your plan, you call for additional transition housing. Is this the model you're talking about, and do you think a model like this should be inside of the VA program?
I think the federal government should fund through block grants innovative, ingenious programs like this one here in Kansas City. And so some really good points made to me. Unlike group housing or shelter living or in an apartment complex, here in one of these tiny homes, you can have your dog, or you can have your dog and your cat, as I just saw through one of the residents. You can have security and safety, and yet you're still part of a larger community. So yes, I think this is a model and an example. I think there can be different ways of delivering housing. We also have the HUD-VASH voucher program, which we want to expand to include not just veterans who have honorable discharges, but anyone who put their life on the line for this country. Another example that I see here in Kansas City.
Can we go to Jason Hancock? I'm sorry. You go first. We'll go to Jason.
Thank you so much. Can you talk a little bit about your time in El Paso at home and how it's impacted how you're running this campaign moving forward?
Two things, if I could. One, in the tradition of what Brian and Jason and Vincent are doing here, in El Paso, when I first took office, we ranked dead last in the country in access to mental health care help for veterans, not unconnected to a suicide crisis among veterans. Care delayed became care denied, led to some tragic outcomes. The community of El Paso, one of the poorest on paper in the United States, came together much the way the community of Kansas City is coming together here. Private providers, public providers, folks from all walks of life filling the gaps. We're no longer dead last. We're providing care and access to veterans and saving lives in the process. In that same way, a little more than 2 weeks ago, a gunman came in with a weapon of war, killed 22 people in a Walmart in one of the safest cities in the United States of America, a binational community, a community of immigrants, a community that is majority Mexican American. For all those reasons, he drove 600 miles, chose us to kill people in our hometown. But I guarantee you, we will not be defined by that act of terror or hatred or violence, but instead by the way in which our community came together for one another, donating blood, being at vigils, donating money to be there for families who did not have the resources to pay for their own care or their own funerals. And I think that's the way that America needs to come together right now. In the face of hatred, intolerance, violence, division, geographically, along party lines, ethnic, racial, or religious, who cares about that small stuff? We're Americans. We're big, bold, confident, courageous people. We're going to start acting that way. So as tragic as what happened in El Paso is, let's also take inspiration from how the people of El Paso have responded to that. And that's the way I'm trying to share El Paso's message across the country.
And we have time for 2 more questions. Can we go to Jason?
Yeah, I know your campaign is now going. I think it's Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, Missouri. Not the typical tour of a presidential candidate. Why is that? Why are you visiting these red states so in the middle of a presidential primary?
And Mississippi too.
In Mississippi.
I live in one of those states. We were forever written off or counted out. And I live in the westernmost of the 254 counties of Texas, the hardest one to get to. It takes 2 flights to get there from Kansas City. No one ever showed up. And so I know what it feels like to be ignored, and I know what it feels like to be respected. And I want to make sure everyone in this country, regardless of what role your state plays in the primary process or how many electoral college votes you have, I want you to know that you count when it comes to me. And the differences in religion or race or how many generations you can count yourself an American or whether you just got here last week does not matter to me. I want us to be there for one another at this moment. And you can talk the game, but you also have to show up and walk that talk. And that's what I'm trying to do in this campaign. We never ask party affiliation. We never ask who you voted for last time, who it is you pray to, how you love. No me importa. Does not matter. All that matters is that you're an American, you're here, and we have the chance to come together right now. And so I feel very good about the way that we're campaigning, very good about the way that America is responding right now. This is a moment of truth for us, and I'm really proud of this country and the way that we're meeting it.
Congressman, you talk about ending the forever war. Will you support the president if he decides to withdraw from Afghanistan?
I wish President Trump, though I disagree with him on so many things, though he is of a different political party, all the success in the world when it comes to foreign policy, because his success is our success as a country. I commend him for trying to end the war in Afghanistan. Khalilzad, his chief negotiator with the Taliban, with the government in Kabul, we want him to be successful. We want those service members to be able to come home to their communities and to their families. I don't want them to have to risk their lives, put them on the line, take the lives of others in our name unless it is the option of last resort. I think we are past that in Afghanistan. We are past that in Iraq. It is time to end those wars. We wish the president success.
Do you think that there should be some sort of military presence or intelligence presence in that region to keep an eye on terrorism?
Absolutely. Let's boost the diplomatic presence. Let's boost our readiness to work with allies and sometimes enemies alike, stakeholders in the region, so that we don't have to have a continued military presence. And to your question about an intelligent presence, absolutely. Neither Afghanistan nor any other country can ever be used as a launching pad for attacks against the United States of America. Our number one responsibility to one another is to keep each other safe and to keep this country secure. That's my number one priority as a candidate, as a president, and that's part of the way that we'll do it.
Afghanistan no longer a violent.
That's all we have time for.
No longer a violent.
Hey, how are you?